here, 1v1, Calderis Refinery, blue side. It's Tex plays an Eldar Warlock melee commander with great mobility and destruction, can also tank damage with the right war gear. And up against on the red side is Toilailee, plays a force commander, very versatile with some great offense, can also tank damage, disrupt and buff. This is Blood Ravens. Force commander versus Warlock, and I think the force commander fares better than the other two Space Marine commanders versus the Warlock. Tech Marine's not bad in tier 2 once he can get his shield up and doesn't get disrupted every 15 seconds by this guy. But we will see Toilailee with triple scouts. We might see a bunch of shotgun scouts running around. Tex has gone for triple Dire Avengers, so no sign of conservative build to either players. Usually you see Banshees out the gate versus Space Marines, and usually you see a tactical marine, of course, for the Space Marine player, but triple scouts can be effective. We've seen Toilailee do it before. These guys are going to pepper away at this Warlock, but he will finish the cap and then destructed them. No, uses fleet instead to come to the west side. Dire Avengers shooting up scouts that will easily outshoot scouts, and scouts losing a model there before getting away. 2-to-1 cap for Tex. Big destructor right in the face of these guys. And here comes the force commander. He can deal pretty nicely with the Warlock if he uses his battle cry, and then you can use that to shoot him up. That's what's going on here. Doesn't do a lot of damage by default, the Warlock, and only starts with 690 hit points, so he does have his weaknesses, but he's just so difficult to play against when he's used well. In retreat now, so Toilailee can take advantage, maybe spread out and cap. We do have Dire Avengers though, and in groups these guys put out some serious DPS in tier 1, especially to these quite fragile scouts. Rangers on the way too, and they will easily pop models off these guys, and they could disrupt the force commander, of course, with kinetic pulse from range, trying to shoot up the node. But now they turn their attention to the force commander. Look at the outpouring of DPS on him. Already lost a bunch of hit points, down to almost half, and he does have alacrity up, which is boosting his speed here, helping greatly taking down these Dire Avengers. Passively boosts his speed by 0.5 I believe, and also gives him the awesome sprint. Scouts lose a model, but he does force off both Dire Avenger squads. What's going on mid? Scouts have capped it. Dire Avengers capping the wreck. Rangers now up, and they're going to really change this matchup. Toilailee might have to go for Assault Marines to put pressure on, otherwise he's going to be tormented by these Rangers. Now he's seen them obviously. Gets a shot on the force commander. There's the kinetic pulse as well. Warlock then jumps on him. Look at that for disruption, and he has to run away. The Warlock doesn't have a melee charge because he has that awesome leap. Has a 15-second cooldown I believe. Can knock down more than one model if he lands on more than one model. 448, 437. Another reason why he's such a pain in the ass for heretics. Often they bunch up and he leaps in and knocks down 3 or 4 members. 436, 437. It's evened up on the VPs, but it's a double cap for Toilailee, and he has gone for some Assault Marines, jump troops that fight in melee combat, bolt pistols and chainswords, and they disrupt when they land. Great for countering ranged squads in general, especially setup teams, and snipers are a setup squad, of course. They do set up quicker than heavy weapon teams, and they do have their Pathfinder gear now too. Assault Marines jumping to where I think he thought the Rangers were, but Rangers are all the way over here, taking shots at those scouts. 417, 435. Dire Avengers trying to put damage on those Assault Marines. Do we have any aspects? We do have aspects on the way for 2 of the squads. These guys forced off though. Rangers might get caught by the Assault Marines. No, using their fleet to get away. Another one of those tier 1 Eldar upgrades that gives you so much. The Pathfinder gear. Fleet, infiltrate and hollow fields. 417, 419. Grenading his own Dire Avengers in retreat there, but did hit the Assault Marines very well. 417, 418. 1-to-1 cap. Couldn't quite get a model off the note, and that often happens in early engagements. Assault Marines with 400 hit points per model can get away without losing any, despite taking a bunch of damage. Warlock with the anti-Space Marine weapon pretty much in tier 1. The Merciless Witchblade completely screws with Assault Marines, also the energy management. of the apothecary. Champion's robe also up. Don't think we're going to be seeing the Iron Halo from the Force Commander there. You just saw him cancel it because he doesn't want to get his energy drained constantly by this Merciless Switchblade. And look at the damage that thing puts out. It's pretty damn nice. It's not a power melee weapon, but it does put out some serious damage and has that ranged attack. Look at the aggro he's pouring on this Force Commander here. He can't do anything to this. 398, 418. Needs to run away. There we go. He can now maybe decap the VP there. Here comes scouts. So he should be able to decap under fire. Well, here comes another scout squad. And the Assault Marines moving in now. What's this? Dire Avengers capping. Eldar forces moving through the mid. Rangers coming up to support. Might see them disrupt the Assault Marines with Kinetic Pulse. 384, 418. I think this special attack from the Merciless Switchblade actually does power melee damage. That's what I've heard anyway. 380, 418. Rangers infiltrating and moving away. Some good Ranger play so far from Tex. Toilailee hasn't been able to jump them. Another nice shot and a Kinetic Pulse to follow up. But he does get a jump. Jumps into retreat path, but doesn't attack. Goes straight after the Dire Avengers again. And double Assault Marines for Toilailee. Triple scouts into double ASM, not something you see ever. I don't think I've ever seen this. Tex with some rangers, but no double rangers. He's going to go tier 2, I suppose, maybe into a Wraithlord as soon as he can. Dangerous though with double melter bombs and a possible power fist from the Force Commander. Assault Marines getting away again without a model loss. 380, 418. Nice back and forth, pretty even tier 1 I think. Rangers shooting up a bunch of scouts, but that's not a huge deal. That's a huge deal though. A couple of models going down there. Didn't get an Assault Marine down though, which I'm sure he would have loved to. Tier 2 on the way for Tex. Toilailee will have to wait a while. That was one shot from the Rangers doing that. Big burst damage. 380, 418, still a 1-to-1. Scouts are capping mid. He has no tax on the field, of course, which have that improved capping speed, which is not a trait to overlook for those guys. It does make a big difference. Power noded on the west, power is not noded on the east. We have triple gens up for both players, I suppose we do, yes. Can he get double Assault Marines in the same engagement? These guys are still healing up. These guys are going to jump the double Dire Avengers. Rangers are there. Still infiltrated. There's the Kinetic Pulse. Maybe set up for a grenade. Nicely done. Couldn't quite hit it as he wanted to. 370, 418. Battle Cry Force Commander versus the Warlock. Neither can be knocked down because of the Champion's Robe and Battle Cry. 363, 418. Assault Marines chasing down Dire Avengers. Another grenade attempt. Grenades his own squad again. Did hit the Assault Marines nicely. And does get a model, as did Retreat, a sync kill with the Merciless Switchblade. Just not too bad for him. Scouts here with a Sergeant, gives them a fragmentation grenade. Are we going to see it on his Dire Avengers? No, he's just going to retreat. And he's going to eat a grenade on retreat. Is he? No, Tex does not go for it. 346, 418. Force Commander in amongst Rangers. He could wipe them here. Bang. Can he get the last model? He can't use sprint. He's in his melee charge. Bolt pistol shots, maybe 6 hit points. 7. And now he's suppressed by base turrets and taking tons of damage from Dire Avengers. So that was reasonably lucky for Tex to get away there. Has a webway gate in his base, but not a second one out in the field yet. The Warlock webway though does allow him to start off a healing effect from his webway, so it is very useful just to have one at base to get things back out quickly. Especially Banshees with the healing effect from the gate and the HQ. Get them back on the field very, very quickly. 319, 418, some nice map control here for Toilailee. Good back and forth engagement there. Tex had the best of it when he took that Assault Marine down, but then those double Ranger loss was pretty painful. Grenade on his face, puts up his robe and backs away. He's now going to try and scare off these scouts, and he has gone for a Wraithlord as quickly as he could. Melee walker for Eldar with his big Wraith Sword and a wrist-mounted shuriken catapult can get a shoulder-mounted weapon. We'll see what and if he goes for one. 298, 418. Might focus on leadering up his Dire Avengers first. He's got a leader for one of them there, and a leader on the way for this squad as well. There's the Exarch. He has a leap much like the Warlocks and is decent in melee combat. Gives them the Embolden ability. 286, 418, 2-to-1 cap for red. Wraithlord has not been seen by Toilailee. We might see immediately Melter Bomb and Power Fist. Doesn't have the resources for them. He does have a Sergeant up on both Assault Marines and does have the Power Fist. I suppose he expected a vehicle of some sort, probably a Wraithlord, which are really strong in the current meta. Very popular. 269, 418. Warlock in amongst a bunch of Assault Marines who are jumping and are taking big chunks of damage. Can he get a model here? Boom. He does get one model. There is Flesh over Steel, a hard stun on the Wraithlord, but there is that Merciless Witchblade ranged attack again. Nice plasma grenade. Took out a scout, but I think took out some allied Dire Avengers yet again. Assault Marines getting away with a model loss. Can the Wraithlord get another one in retreat? Boom. That big chunk of splash damage, but he can't get a model. He's gone for the shoulder mounted shuriken, which does create like 46 DPS or something nuts. So you can just put your Wraithlord on range stance and use him as a counter initiation tool, which you might do with double Assault Marines around. Look at the damage it's doing to that generator. 240, 418. Warlock's going to try and decap, and in fact he's going to. Has a webway right smack bam in the middle here. Not a place I would expect him to put one, especially since Toilailee does have a scout sergeant up. As soon as he gets close to the mid, he'll spot it. Does he have melter bombs for both Assault Marines? He does, or he will in a way. So double melters and that power fist. This might be a very dead Wraithlord. He's going to need to really watch that force commander, try and disrupt him with the Warlock, keep him pressured. 236, 292. There's the first melter bomb, attaches to the target and detonates after 3 seconds. There is the detonation damage and a snare. Here comes the force commander. Needs to keep the Wraithlord moving, so you can't easily use Flesh over Steel, but there's another snare from another melter bomb, and that will root Wraithlord. Beautiful grenade though. Can he wipe out those Assault Marines? Wraithlord is chasing with a shuriken and does. Wow, big victory for Tex. I was too busy watching a Wraithlord to see that unfold. Just caught the end of it there. 236, 362, and Force Commander's going to go down. That is a huge win for Tex. Wraithlord just about surviving. If he put those two melter bombs on the Wraithlord quicker, so he was routed quicker, he could have got Flesh over Steel and taken it down. Easier said than done, of course. A very nice grenade from Tex. He has an Exarch on all 3 squads. He now has a Guardian weapon team, kind of forcing the Assault Marines to jump it now, and he can counter initiate with a grenade and the Wraithlord and even the Warlock. So a good choice, I think. 236, 357. The Force Commander is repurchased, and with all of this stuff spent on him, you're going to need to. Power Fist is 200 rec, 50 power. Alacrity, I believe, is 25 power. The Iron Halo also, I believe, is 25 power. 236, 352. Both commanders fully kitted out the Warlock with the Heart of Darkness, which completes this awesomely tanky and annoying melee build of his. Assault Marines capping. Tex is natural though, and Toilailee has a 2-to-1. Has a decent amount of map, but look at this, some power harass from Dire Avengers. Going to take down that generator. Are they? Yes, they do. Here comes the Force Commander, instantly taking out a model with a sync kill thanks to that Power Fist. 85 DPS of heavy melee damage. Bang. Takes out another one as they fleet away. Assault Marines are under serious pressure from this Wraithlord, just about getting away there. A couple more hits. He might have wiped the squad with that splash damage. Wraithlord so powerful, not giving up any of their melee prowess once they get the ranged weapon, which fires on the move. 210, 352. Dreadnought on the way for Toilailee. Are we going to see a multi-motor dread? Dark Creepers are up. Long range plasma damage, very nasty to heavily armoured Space Marines. Can get a couple of upgrades which makes them reasonably expensive, and they will bleed you quite a lot, but they are so powerful. 209, 351. Warlock doesn't really have a direct way to buff their damage, unlike the Warp's Rexarch with crack shots and the Farseer of course with her guide. Now he's bashing power pretty hard. 209, 342. Here is the dreadnought. Will it make a difference? He needs to have a very good couple of next engagements. I think Tech's in the ascendancy here, and he can go tier 3 too. Starts getting fire prisms out. It's going to be very, very nasty. I was thinking he'd go tier 3 instead of getting his Dark Creepers out, but here they are. They do have a tier 3 upgrade, I believe, the Tempest launcher. 209, 323 is going for another Guardian weapon team. Has he spotted or heard the dreadnought? He might be going for a Bright Lance. He does have the multi-melter up on the dreadnought. Not the upgrade you see all that often, not because it's bad, it's just a bit of a niche upgrade. Short range, anti-everything damage, big chunks of damage, and look at the damage it's doing to that Wraithlord. It's going in for melee combat as well. A dreadnought with one close combat arm still retains 73 DPS heavy melee, and down goes the Wraithlord quickly, very quickly. 209, 303 now. Good engagement for Toilailee, dealt with the Wraithlord incredibly fast. Tech seemed to lose sight of it, didn't move it away or anything. Too busy dealing with the Assault Marines. I think the Bright Lance is up though. Big chunks of damage to the dreadnought. Does so much DPS to vehicles but doesn't snare them. They of course do have haywire grenades, which are awesome snares which disable weapons also. 2-to-1 cap for Techs. Dreadnought is being repaired by 2 scout squads, and it's going to turn and just engage, exploding Dire Avengers on almost every shot of that multi-melter. And here come those Assault Marines jumping on 2 squads. Will we see a grenade spike on their faces though? There's pinning fire from the Dark Reapers. 209, 237 scouts in retreat. We did not see a big grenade spike on their faces. He's pushing Toilailee back to his base. Toilailee now with double scouts, Assault Marines and that dreadnought. Warlock's going after it. What is he up to? Just lost his shield there. And now backs away. So he might get a triple cap. That's probably why he was pushing a bit more. Just to make sure he can cap this. 209, 249 is going to be a triple for Tex. And he's going tier 3. Toilailee on the other hand. What's he going to do? Assault Marines are level 2. Bit low on hit points here with Dark Creepers around. That is dangerous. They're jumping though, destroying one of the shields. But look at the damage pouring into them now. Are we going to see a grenade spike? No. Sergeant goes down. Another model goes down. That was painful. Of course, Commander levels to 4. Going straight after those Dark Creepers. But now suppressed by the Shuriken. Really was expecting him to get the teleporter pack and not the Iron Halo with that Merciless which made a round. Dreadnought closing the distance of the Bright Lance and does force it off, but is very low on hit points here. Triple cap for Tex. There's that melee inspiration, and scouts do benefit, but they are forced off. Grenade doesn't quite hit where he wanted it to. Dreadnought lives. Drop pod. Trying to hit stuff in retreat with it, was he? Bit weird. Our Avengers tickling the Dreadnought with their Shuriken catapults. Here comes the Warlock. He wants to try and tie it up to prevent it shooting that very dangerous multi-melter. There's a grenade and that might finish it off. Very nearly did. 29 hit points left. And here comes Toilailee in full force. And that Dreadnought badly needs repairs. Very badly needs repairs. More Assault Marines on the way for Toilailee. Tex is in tier 3 and could get a Fire Prism up any second now. His webway is still up in the middle as well. Didn't spot if he used the health regen ability during those engagements, but that would have helped him up if he did. Dreadnought's being repaired. These scouts probably have a repair queued up once they finish that cap. 20983. Now I bet he wishes he had the assault cannon up. Boom! Exploding Eldar Avenger though as he gets close. Here's the second assault marine squad immediately getting their sergeant. Don't think he'll bother getting the thunder and lightning. 20973 jumps on the Bright Lance. Now the dreadnought can come forward. Here it comes. Force commander going off the Eldar Avengers. I think he wants to get into those Dark Reapers, but they're a bit far away there. Assault marine jumping the Shuriken, going straight after Dark Reapers. Though these guys are heavy infantry, but they are not the toughest thing around. And get away with just one model there. 20958. Nice grenade in retreat path. Boom! Exploding an assault marine. Wow, so much bleed off those assault marines during this game. Multi-motor Dread doing well. Does so much damage front loaded with that multi-motor. Almost level 2. Awesome special from the Warlock. And he does get away. Toilailee will cap mid. And the webway gate will be taken down because that sergeant there can spot it. 20946 down it goes and levels the dreadnought because those webways now give 150 XP if you take them down, and they didn't have to share that with any other unit, I don't think. 20846. Avatar of Khaine on the way for Tex. Toilailee under some serious pressure. And he's letting Toilailee know what he's going for here. Eldar Avengers moving in for a grenade perhaps. Nope. He might go for a retreat one. There we go. Nicely done. Beautifully hits and takes down 3 models. Only the sergeant remains and he has 8 hit points, 7, but does get away. Dreadnought almost up to full hit points with level 2, and that big multi-melter is going to hurt the Avatar, but he's quickly going to tie it up, I think. We will see. Could get double melters on it as well, and of course the Power Fist itself. Is it worth it to go for some Plasma Tactical Marines here to put pressure on the Avatar and shoot up the heavy infantry Eldar Avengers? Here comes the Avatar super unit for Eldar. Very, very tough. Over 5,000 hit points of super heavy infantry armor. Very dangerous in combat and passively buffs nearby allies as well. So he's going to have his hands full. He's going for Devastators. Obviously wants a las cannon on the field to snare its movement, which is the smartest choice, I think. Assault Marines jumping in. Here comes that multi-motor dreadnought. Is he going to target the Avatar? Looks like he is. There's the Wrath of Khaine. Takes ages to happen, that ability, but it is quite powerful. Knockback damage and suppression. Assault Marines staying in this engagement. There's one melter on the Avatar who is trying to chase down these assault marines. There is a drop pod who will reinforce nearby units, but it didn't arrive in time to reinforce those assault marines. That was pretty unlucky for Toilailee. The dreadnought now closing for melee combat alongside that Power Fist Avatar under some serious pressure. Las Cannon Devastators are up, need to come forward a bit to have a say in this engagement. There was a big Wailing Doom, assault marines in retreat, but Power Fist, Force Commander and Dreadnought are chasing down this Avatar. Here comes a Bright Lance. Thought he was going to tie it up with the scouts in melee combat. Where's this Force Commander up to? He's going to die here. And the Dreadnought chases down the Avatar and down it goes. That gives a big chunk of red to Toilailee. 120 red to take down a super unit. Apart from the Baneblade, I think. The Baneblade only gives 90 red for some reason. 10737. It's a single cap for Tex. Devastator las cannon team is made to run away. It's gonna be a 2-to-1. The naturals have swapped, and Tex has the mid. Avatar going down as a big blow, but he still has a sizable army on the field. A lot of things he can do with it. His dreadnought is a pain in the arse. Almost level 3 now. These scouts getting a sergeant there, level 3. Assault Marines in amongst our Avengers here. 1-to-1 cap for Tex. Scouts are decapping mid, and Toilailee is also taking his natural back. Those Dire Avengers getting away with one model, do they? Yes, the Dreadnought path blocking its own Assault Marines there. Are they going to jump? Look at the damage from the Dark Reapers, good grief. Don't have their Exarch now though. And looks like it's going to be a 2-1 for Tex instead. Is this the end of the game now? Does Toilailee have time to come out and retake the middle? Eldritch Storm completely wasted, trying to catch the dreadnought with it. Warthog dropped. Sub-commander for Eldar, very quick on her feet, some great support abilities and some decent offense too. Has that leap, there it is. She's going to use it to try and decap here. Dreadnought exploding, Dark Reapers. Warthog eats a grenade. She might go down if she's not careful. There's the GG from Toilailee. Looks like he's run out of time. Doesn't have time to decap mid. And there it is. A very good game. Can't believe how quickly that Wraithlord went down, but Tex held on with the Avatar, which basically just stalled things before going down. The Dreadnought did awesomely well. Almost got to level 4. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.